Hello.
Yeah.
Good, good afternoon, everyone. I am so pumped. It is here. This is one of my favorite times of year. It's our business jumpstart. If you are looking to start a virtual assistant business in 2022, I'm telling you, this is your year and you are in the right place because we're going to be talking about all aspects of starting a virtual assistant business over the course of the next 5 days. So today is day one, but it is not the only day of the challenge. We are going live every single day to talk about a different aspect of virtual assistants. And I love that we always do this at the beginning of the year, but a few weeks in, because I don't know about anybody else, but like the first few weeks of January have been a little rough. You probably notice I'm like hacking. There's like this weird, like it's not COVID, but you're gonna cough up a lung all month thing, like going around. It hit my family. So I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I am like finally like, okay, I'm a few weeks into 2022. Now I'm ready to hit my goals. Is that you too, Melanie?
I definitely needed a buffer period this year,
Yeah.
but I think that this is going to be a great start to the year. Let's just count this January 1st, right?
Yeah, I agree. Anybody else with us? Okay, so we're going to be talking all about starting your virtual assistant business from scratch. If you want all of the notifications for this challenge and to get all the replays and everything that we're talking about, make sure that you're signed up for the actual challenge. You might have just caught this live, which is great, but this way you're getting email reminders every single day and you'll get all the replays in case you can't get to one live. But it's so good, those of you who are able to be here live, because you're the ones that are going to be able to ask questions, to interact, and we want this to be interactive. Okay, guys? So my girl Melanie, she is our Savvy System director. She is killing it with our over 3,000 students that are in the Savvy System, and she's going to be fielding your questions. So if I can't answer every question live, because we've got, 260, 280 people here. If I can't answer every question live, then she's going to go through and kind of be keeping a database. So that way at the end, we can answer as many questions as we can throughout the training. Okay, so make sure, ask questions, be interactive. This is your time. All right, you ready, Melanie?
I'm ready.
Are you guys ready? Say I'm ready in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and move Melanie so she doesn't have to just sit there and like smile and nod her head the whole time while I'm presenting because, that wouldn't be fun. And I'm going to pull up the chat too because I want to see and hear you guys. Tell me where you're joining from because I want to know who I am talking to. I know sometimes we have people join these challenges from like all the way halfway or all the way across the world. And so sometimes we're getting people waking up literally at 3 a.m. to come to this, which I think is amazing. But each one of you guys have sacrificed in your own way to be here. So I want to say thank you for taking the time out because you're taking the time out for you to do something that is important to you, that's going to carve out something that is your very own. And that's really what we're talking about here. This is the Business Jumpstart Challenge. We're talking about starting your own at-home business in 2022. And we're just going to jump right in. So today we're going to be talking about goal planning because how do you know if you've reached your destination unless if you actually set a concrete goal, right? So we're going to talk about how to plan goals for your at-home virtual assistant business. We're going to be talking about what does that look like, and I'm going to give you a little bit of my backstory too, so you kind of know, hey, this girl is kind of knows what she's talking about, right? So let's go ahead, and I see you guys interacting in the comments. We have everyone from Pennsylvania to South Africa, California, North Korea, here in Springfield, Missouri. Hey, I'm in Springfield, Missouri. That's awesome. So let's do this thing. Yes, if at any reason you guys have issues like with the sound or video, usually you can fix it just by refreshing your screen. We just have that. Sometimes when this many people are on live, there can be issues. And so just refresh your screen if there's any kind of technical difficulties. Okay, here we go. So let me just introduce you to myself really quick so you know a little bit about me. I'm Abby Ashley, and I'm the founder of the Virtual Savvy. We are the premier virtual assistant training program for anybody looking to start their own at-home business. That is what we do. We have trained over 3,000 students, and I absolutely love what I get to do. A little more personal things about me. I have a family that I absolutely love. I just kicked them out the door. They don't have school on Mondays. So my husband took them so I could do this live stream. I'm super grateful for him. I actually retired him a few years ago just with my business. So he's able to go and help me with stuff like this, which is so great. I'm a huge orange juice fan, but only if it's like so thick that you can chew it. People think I'm gross, but hey, fight me on it. I'm an amateur beatboxer, emphasis on the amateur. And, for the longest time, the reason I started my business is because I wanted to contribute to our family financially, but also really feel like I had something that was mine. And I know, my backstory is that I am a mom and I started this business as a mom, but I don't know if any of you guys are moms or maybe have other responsibilities in your life, maybe other people or things that you take care of. And you can kind of lose yourself in those things, right? And so virtual assistants wasn't just a way to make money. It wasn't just a way to help our family financially, to pay down debt, to go on more vacations, any of that. For me, it was also just something I could pour myself into that was really special because it was mine and mine alone. So that's a little bit of backstory. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. So we're going to talk about goal planning, right? We're going to do a live Q&A, ask me anything. And so you met my girl, Melanie, earlier. She's going to be answering those questions. So any questions, I already see a few popping up in the chat. Perfect. Go ahead and ask those questions, and then we will answer them at the very end of the training. And then we do something at the very end, just because we like to have fun around here, called the Be Bold Challenge. And so basically my team, if you don't know, we have a team of 20 plus employees over at the Virtual Savvy that support all of you. And they always like to come up with some fun dare or challenge, or really just some way for me to embarrass myself at the end of each training. So that's something definitely to stay till the end for, okay? Let's do this thing. So how many of you guys have decided, like, just let me know, show of hands, you can say me, that 2022 is gonna be your year. Because dang it, it has been a hard couple of years. I don't know about anybody else, but 2 years ago, we were just about to head into the COVID, chaos. And I don't think any of us knew what was coming. I don't know if any of us predicted that it would still be such a topic and something that weighs so heavily on us 2 years later. And I know for a lot of us that has taken quite a bit of a toll, but there's something I've seen recently just in my conversations with friends, with you guys, with employees. There is like this air about us that we're like, dang it, it's my time. Like, it is my time. The last 2 years have kind of beaten us up a little bit, and I'm ready to take charge of my own future. I'm ready to take charge of my own financial situation, and I'm ready to do something that I really, really enjoy with my life, right? And so if that's you, let me know in the comments. I see so many of you guys already like 2022 is going to be taken by a storm. Yep, I thought 2021 would kill me. 2022 will be a year of a new me. Yep, me. 2022 is here for me. I love it. You guys, so awesome. I agree. 2022 is going to be my year too. Like, it is just time. And I think we're all at a point where we are ready for something good. So let me tell you a little bit about my backstory, and maybe you can relate to it a little bit as well. So I started my virtual assistant way back when I was actually pregnant with my second child, which I'll tell you a little bit more of that story here in a little bit. But my virtual assistant business was actually not the first business that I had started. Oh no, I have had entrepreneurial ideas since I was a kid. I remember my dad and I sitting around and talking about different businesses. He started businesses when he was throughout my childhood, some of them well, some of them not as well. And, I got to ride a little bit of that entrepreneur roller coaster with him. And I don't know, like, growing up, I just had all these ideas all the time. Like, let me know in the comments, are you the kind of person that walks into a business and, like, rather than just shopping around, instantly you're like, oop, they could fix this, they could do this, they could bring in more customers if they did this, XYZ, right? And so that's me for sure. I've always had this like entrepreneurial brain. And for me, I remember I had started so many different types of businesses that when somebody suggested I start a virtual assistant business, at first I got excited, but there was also this doubt And I think a part of that is because honestly, I had started a lot of businesses and quit them. Like, I'm not known to be a great finisher, if I'm being honest. I had started so many businesses and just quit them. And I think there was this element that had a lot of shame about that and a lot of fear that I could really do something else. But I want to reassure you, if that's your story, because I know that was my story, and for some of you, that's your story as well. Or maybe you've had like fear hold you back. It's maybe you haven't started a million businesses. Maybe you had ideas to start a million, but you haven't actually started them. Guys, let me reassure you for a second, because if you are the kind of person that is always thinking of businesses, or you're like discouraged because you've started so many things and quit them, I believe that that is actually a sign that you are a true entrepreneur, because you guys are the kind of people that are constantly thinking of new things, new things, new things. And what I have found is when true entrepreneurs, most of them have started and stopped businesses multiple times, right? And whenever you have this, when you actually find something that one, you can throw your creativity, your uniqueness inside of, and two, that you can really focus on, and you can say, I'm just going to commit to this. I'm going to really commit to just doing one thing and one thing only for an entire year, and you start to see like the actual money coming in, the fruit of your labor. I'm telling you guys, it is a game changer, and it was an absolute game changer for me. So like I mentioned, I started my virtual assistant business in 2015. I was pregnant with my second child, and I knew, like, for me, something had to switch, because I had started and stopped so many businesses. We were coming on, we had our second kid coming along. My husband was working these super long shifts. We were living in the DC area, so he was driving 2 hours to work, 2 hours back from work. I barely saw him. We were struggling financially, living in a basement apartment with one window, like a little tiny window in this apartment. And I was really, really struggling. And I knew if something didn't shift, that I was probably going to have to go. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time, that I was going to have to go back to a full-time work, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. Shoot. Like, I think full-time work is great for most people, but for me, I was like, I did this to be at home with my kids, and now we're struggling financially. I don't really love it. If I was being honest, I didn't love being a stay-at-home mom. And I felt really, really stuck. Right. And so when somebody suggested, Abby, why don't you look into being a virtual assistant? I honestly, I was scared. I was scared that this was going to just be another thing that I started and quit. So, like, why did I do it? Like, why did I go ahead and start the next business? Why did I go ahead and try something, even though I thought, man, maybe this isn't going to work, or maybe this isn't going to be a big fit? Honestly, if I could say what was really different this time, it was that I truly had a why that I focused on so deeply, right? And it was my kids. And I knew that I knew the kind of woman that I wanted to be for them. I knew the kind of life that I wanted to provide. I knew that my husband was barely getting to see them because he was at a job that was taking so long. And I'm like, what if I could do something to change that? Right. And so I started another business, a virtual assistant business, and I made some really, really concrete goals. But I'm telling you, that why is truly, I think, what the difference maker was. Because all the other businesses were kind of just like, oh, I could do this on the side. I could, or they were before I had kids. And which, again, I just didn't have the why in front of me, and I had a really, really concrete why. So I want to ask you guys, what is your big why? Like, what is the reason you actually want to do this? What's the reason this is going to be different? Like, if 2022 is your year, why is this going to be different than other years? And your why has to be so deep inside of you, like this fire burning in you, that it's going to motivate you to keep going. Because I'm going to be real honest, okay? Like, it's 2022. It's honesty, Abby. You're going to get right now. This is not going to be easy. And if anybody tells you, like, oh, start an at-home business, it's so easy, just work whenever you want. Like, no, actually, it is freaking hard, but it's so, so worth it. And if you have that why inside of you driving you, I'm telling you guys, it will make it's what makes getting over the difficulties, the roadblocks you're going to face. That's what's going to power you to keep going when it's hard. Okay. So I'm seeing, oh, my why calls me mom. I love it. Money. Hey, money is not a bad why, let me tell you. But I'm guessing that your why actually, like, what is that money going to provide for you, right? Maybe it's the ability to quit your job. I'm seeing explore the world, pay off debt. For me, oh my gosh, they're coming in so fast. I can barely click on them. This is awesome. Um, I'm tired of working for others. I need to be my own boss. um I want to get oh, I want to get out of debt, this or a job at Starbucks. I was a Starbucks barista actually at one point. Trust me, this has a much higher earning potential. I want to retire my husband. I need financial stability. You guys, this is so awesome. Get out of the rat race, travel more. So good. Thank you. Thank you. So these whys are really important. This isn't just something that I'm asking you just to throw in a chat box during a training that you attended. Okay, guys? This needs to be your driving force, because before we can set a goal, you have to know your why. And I would really challenge you to do something. We're going to do something here, and it's to keep it in the forefront of your brain. So, whatever that means for you, but you have to have a really specific representation. I right now have like all these post-it notes that my kids have drawn in the corner. They're like post-it notes with like little pictures of us. And it's literally like me and mommy holding hands, me and daddy like playing at the playground. And I can look over at those at any time. And when I'm having a bad day, when you're having, that email that just won't format right, or whenever you have that client that's being super difficult, or whenever you totally just bomb that sales call, you can look over at some kind of physical representation of your why and know it's worth it. I can keep going. Okay. So, whatever that means for you, like I said, I have the little pictures my kids drew. Maybe you have like people will do like a vision board or whatever. Like, it literally can be, it doesn't have to be fancy. Just do something, right? Oh, I forgot to tell you, our motto here at the Virtual Savvy is action over perfection. Okay. So you don't need to like Pinterest board this. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It just needs to happen. So it might just be that you get like a little piece of paper or a post-it note, write your why and stick it on your computer, or stick it in a place that you're going to see it every single day, right? Where when you wake up, or when it's at your laptop or whatever. Where are you going to be when you face those difficulties? So for most of it's going to be our computer. And I would really, really challenge you to put your why in a place where you're going to see it, because I promise you it's going to motivate you. Okay. So say, I'll do it. Yes. Yes. Say I'll do it in the comments. And you guys, I don't know if you can actually put a picture in the comments, but if you either snap a picture of it, you can tag us on Instagram at the Virtual Savvy. I would love to see your why. And so write down your why, take a picture of it, and tag us at the Virtual Savvy. Or you can even say it, right? If you want to tell me your why and tag us on Instagram, I would love to see it, because I want to root you on, and I want to cheer you on in this process. Okay. But make sure that you're putting it in a place where I can see it, like where you're going to be able to see it every single day. Got it? Yes. Okay. I'm in. So good. Okay. So we have our why. So our why is really different than our goal. Okay. And so I want to make that really, really clear. So the why is a thing that's going to motivate you, right? And the goal is how you know you've arrived. And so let me give you a little bit of some examples on what a flip the switch goal. And we kind of coined this term flip the switch goals because okay, I don't love goals that are like, I want to have more money. Okay, well, if I give you $1 today, technically you'd have more money. So, like, did you reach your goal? Right? So what you want is a goal that really represents what you're working toward, but that it's that like, like I arrived moment, right? So if you want to completely pay off all of your debt minus your house, right? then write down, I want to pay off all of my debt minus my house. Because whenever you write that final check to your student loan and you mail it in, flip the switch. It happened, right? Okay, so are you getting me here? If your goal is, I saw somebody say that they want to retire their husband, right? If that's your goal, the day that he turns in his 2-week resignation, flip the switch, it happened, right? So like, what is it that you want to, like, I want to spend more time with my kids. Okay, well, maybe like that, like how do you know when that's going to happen? But like, I want to I want to work a 4-day work week because my kids, and spend the entire day just with my kids every single Friday. Okay, well, that is a flip the switch goal, because once you like stop working on Fridays and you start having that in your calendar every single week, flip the switch, it happened. Okay. So you guys seeing the difference between like these, like I want more money, I want to have less stress, like those aren't concrete flip the switch. I want to actually, you need to know when it's gonna happen. Okay. So go ahead. I want to buy a house before 27. So good. And travel more. Now, travel more is not a flip the switch goal, okay? You could go like 30 minutes and say, I traveled more because I went down the street, right? But like I want to go to Paris or I want to go to Bali. Like that's a flip the switch goal. Or I want to leave the country every single year, which is something I did throughout my 20s. I left the country every single year. Okay, so like those are flip the switch goals, but the what was the one? I quit my job. I mean, shoot, quit my job. That is a flip the switch goal. Okay, so you guys seeing the difference here? Pay off my car, pay off school debt by the end of the year. Yes, 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 yes. I want to make $3,000 a month and move out of the country. Boom. That is a flip the switch goal. Okay. You guys are totally getting this. I'm loving it. I want to take my family to Costa Rica. I love it. I lived in Costa Rica for 4 months. Awesome. I want to provide for my family so we can step out of the military. Yes. Okay, awesome. So you guys I want to make 100K a year. I'm sorry. I'm like enamored by these goals. I like just want to keep reading them because they make me so freaking excited. Can I tell you guys? I want you to realize that your goals are in reach. This is actually our Savvy system, which is the signature training program we have for virtual assistants. This is one of the very first things, because you guys are already ahead. Okay, the very first thing we do is we have people decide on their flip their switch goals, and you guys, these things happen. They actually happen. Okay, so you've come up with your why. You need to decide on your flip the switch goal. If you want to make a second sticky note right there, go for it. Right, put it in a place where you can see it, because it's what's going to motivate you to keep going. Okay, so you guys, we've come up with our why. We've decided on our flip the switch goal. I do want to remind any of you guys, so this is a free 5-day training that we're doing, 100% free, no strings attached. We do launch our Savvy System program. People say, do I need to buy your program to become a virtual assistant? No, you don't have to. But if you want a proven roadmap, if you want over 70 courses, lessons that take you step by step on how to start your business, if you want templates, all the legalities, live group coaching calls, lifetime access, if you want the step-by-step system to make it easier, you want to be on the wait list for our course. Okay, it opens up on Friday, and you will actually be on our VIP list, which will get you more savings if you go ahead and join the wait list. Okay, so you can go to thesavvysystem.com, grab the wait list. Even if you're unsure, just go ahead and get on the wait list. That way you can get all the emails and everything letting you know when it does launch. Okay. All right, this has been awesome, you guys. And I know we didn't dig into a lot of virtual assistant specific stuff today. It's why this is a 5-day series, okay? So every single day, we're going to be talking about a different aspect of virtual assistants. And guys, if you don't get this right, I'm telling you, it's one of those things. I've been in coaching programs and masterminds and all this stuff, and they always start with some kind of like a vision exercise. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I've done this before, I know. But once I actually take the time, and so maybe for you, tonight or later on today, you need to actually journal this out. Maybe you actually need to take some time to decide if this is something you are going to throw your whole heart into, and really decide on those flip the switch goals and make them real to you. Okay. Because I'm telling you, this is the foundation. And if you don't have this foundation right, it's not going to work. All right. So thank you for joining me for this part. Again, we're going to be talking through different aspects, a lot of practical aspects of starting a virtual assistant business, at home, flexible business for yourselves. But this was our starting point. Okay. Everybody good? Let's do a live Q&A time. If you want to ask me practical questions right now, totally fine. Ask me questions about the course. If you want to ask me questions about your why, I am just an open book. I'm here. I am going to drink some water. And I'm going to bring Melanie on. Here we go.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, I've got that lovely non-COVID cough right now that everyone's. I saw somebody on TikTok the other day. They posted this thing. They're like this video if you're hot and you got that cough that burns but isn't COVID. I was like, yep, that's me. That's me.
I know you're the sick one, Abby, and I'm over here. I just had a coughing attack. So if I'm if I'm having some problems, I'm just back here coughing too.
Sometimes I swear I can spread it through like Zoom or whatever. I'm like, because I feel like our whole team is getting sick too. All right. Oh my gosh, so many questions. So let's just dive in, because I feel like we were getting a lot of really good questions here.
Well, Davia and Tasha, they both ask, where do we start and what do we need to actually learn to become a VA?
Oh, so good. So this challenge is the best place to start. Honestly, you are already in the right place, because we're going to be talking about aspects of like, what practically do you need? We're going to be talking through some of the first steps. And then on Friday, we're going to be talking about marketing, which is really like that hands-on experience. So if you only can like do one more day this week of the challenge, I would say Friday is probably, it's going to be a little bit like, this was like a 20-25 minute training. It's going to be about an hour long training, and we're going to be getting into a lot of specifics. So, and I mean, if we want to talk really just practically right now, we're talking about starting a virtual assistant business, right? And so we cover things like what services should you choose, right? So like, what services should you offer to small business owners in your virtual assistant business? Setting your rate, pricing and packaging. You need legalities, so you'll need a contract. You'll need to kind of come up with some like your business name, right? And make sure that like that name isn't trademarked by somebody else. There's some practicalities around that. Really knowing what your onboarding process is. So like if somebody says, yes, I want to be a client, then what do you do then, right? How are you going to send them invoices? How are you going to set everything up? And then lastly is marketing. And so really those are the big stages to get started, which is a lot, right? It's no easy task, but we're going to be diving into some of those this week. And so you're in the right place. I think the best thing to do is take one day at a time, bit by bit. Like I said, in our signature course, the Savvy System, there are actually, I said over 70, I think there's over 100 lessons, aren't there, Melanie?
Yeah, actually we just counted, and we have 112 lessons in the Savvy System, with even more coming too. So
exactly.
We're always adding more things. It's pretty meaty.
It's a lot, right? And so you can hear that and be like, whoa, that's really overwhelming. But in reality, any business that you start, there's so many aspects to it. And so it's literally just bringing apart one piece at a time and focusing, what's my focus now? What's my focus now? So your focus right now is completing this Jumpstart, okay?
Yep.
And then we can move to the next phase.
Yep, exactly. And so Yana asks, how do you balance corporate job and your business? There's actually kind of two questions in this question. So I'm going to start with this first question. How do you balance corporate job and your business?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, and Melanie and I come from two different angles. So we both started and ran super successful businesses. If those of you guys who don't know, Melanie was a savvy system student, started her own business, was super successful, was able to quit her full-time job, and now she works for us and is like the main savvy system coach, which is amazing. So we had two different stories. I had come from corporate, but I actually quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom. And so if I'm being honest, those of you guys who are stay-at-home moms know stay-at-home mom is no joke. It is a full-time job, 100%, but it's different. It's different than working corporate and also balancing, balancing starting a business and having kids. So Melanie is a single mom and working her corporate job and running this business. So I think honestly, Melanie, you're probably the best person to answer this question specifically.
Excuse me. Yes, I am. I would love to answer this question. So I actually started with this exact training 3 years ago. So this is it's full circle moment for me. So I'm just really excited to be here. And one of the things to remember is, we talked about your why, and know that during that season where you're trying to start a business, where maybe you have kids and you're working your full-time job, it's a season of a lot of hustle, and there is sacrifice involved. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's going to be easy, but like Abby said, it's so worth it. So balancing is just being really intentional with your time. We're going to talk more about time blocking and time management and finding those pockets of time where you can be really intentional with your business. So I like to set timers. So, okay, I have 30 minutes to market my business, and then I'm going to, on my lunch when I'm working or after my kiddo goes to sleep. But for me, it was having always remembering my why, even if it's a post-it note on your monitor, or your desktop computer has like a vision board of what you want to accomplish with your goals. But it's just remembering that why and being intentional with your time. All of our schedules look different, but if you can just accept the sacrifice and the hustle for a short period of time and be intentional with that time, you can accomplish anything.
100%. Yeah. And like Melanie said, we'll talk more about time blocking, but I think that is huge. It's just being like, okay, like I have 1 hour. I'm waking up 1 hour earlier, which means I have 1 hour to work on my business. Okay. So if you're intentional with that 1 hour and you know exactly what you're going to do, exactly what you're going to work on, and you go in ready, it's a lot different than people that just kind of jump on their computer and they're like, what am I going to work on today? Check Facebook for a bit, and then you scroll, and then right. It's like there's a lot of intentionality that I think goes with it. And I remember I was in this coaching program once, and it was me, a mom of 2 kids, running this like massive business, because this was just a few years ago, running this massive business, 2 kids, like young kids, right? And I was in this coaching program with a bunch of like single 20-year-olds. Nothing wrong with that. I was like a little jealous. I was like, oh, I wish I started my business as I was single in my 20s. But like it was funny because I would show up to these like weekly coaching calls, and no lie, I would get like 10 times more done than them. And they would always come so puzzled. They'd be like, Abby, like I literally at the time I was working my business full time, but full time with taking care of kids and this and all this different stuff. I had like 4 hours a day, and they had 24 hours a day, right? Because they had nothing else. And they were like, Abby, how do you get so much more done when we literally have 4 or 5 times more time than you do? And I like had to think about it, and I was like, you know what? I think there is sometimes this urgency that comes when you have less time, like because Melanie, you're working a corporate job, and it's like, okay, I just got my kid to bed, I've got 1 hour to get some solid work in if I want any kind of quality sleep so I can show up for my job tomorrow. So I'm going to be really intentional with that 1 hour, and you can sometimes get more done in 1 hour than other people can in 5s if you have like a lot of intentionality. So that would be another thing that I would say as well, that sometimes your lack of time can be a benefit to you.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Abby, but I'm somebody that works best on a time crunch when I'm like, I need to
Me
meet this
too.
deadline like yesterday. So so that's me personally.
Yeah.
But it can be doable for any type of thing. And when you're going through that struggle and the hustle and you're tired, you don't want to be in that place forever. So that's motivation enough also to do the things. So really good, Abby. Thank you. And so Yana also has a second question, which I've seen a lot through our questions is how do you get over being uncomfortable sharing your business online and when you're worried about what other people think?
Oh man, this is such a good one. So, um, I think that there's different levels of sharing your business, okay? And I'll tell you this, it does get easier with time. It really does. The first time you like announce your business to the world, it can be really scary. So one of the things that we have you do early on inside of our course, and it's actually we've got a free template for it too. It's called the friends and family outreach, and it's literally like a letter that you send out to friends and family. Your friends and family aren't your ideal clients, right? Like they're not, most of them don't own businesses. So it's not like it's not like an MLM where you're trying to get all your friends to buy the thing. But there's something really powerful about just telling your network about your business, about what you're doing. And part of it, some people see results from that outreach right away, like actual they get clients from doing it. Their Aunt Sally says, "Oh my gosh, my friend was just looking for something like this." Some people see results right away, but I think one of the biggest things that happens is it kind of gets you over that hump of just telling people. And so I don't think that there's really a way to get over it other than to just do it. I mean, get your why in front of you, right? But then take that first step. And so if it's like a virtual thing, you can literally write the post, have it ready, get your hand like on the mouse and then click and then run if you have to, right? I've done stuff like that. And so it can be really, really intimidating at first, but once you start telling people, you get those cheerleaders in your corners, the people that know you, love you, want to cheer you on. Tell those people first. Like, let the first person you tell be like your mom, right? Or like your best friend. Get somebody else in your corner that's really, really excited about it and excited for you. Because having those people in your corner is going to help when you get that random uncle or your brother or sister or whatever who's like, I don't really understand. How's that going to work? How are you going to, all the naysayers, right? Like, get a few people in your corner that you know are going to be excited for you. I think that will really help.
Yep, absolutely. And so we have, oh my gosh, Abby, these questions are coming in hot and they're all so good.
I know.
It's hard to choose, but we have had several questions about this. So Callie wants to know, is the Savvy system, if they sign up, are there monthly payments?
Okay, so great question. And we'll talk more in detail about the Savvy system. For anybody curious about just kind of like, what is it? What should I be expecting? You can go to Savvy System or the Savvy System. They both work. SavvySystem.com. If you get on the wait list, there's a little bit of information about the course there. But in essence, there are different ways to pay for it. There is like a lump sum way, and you save a little if you pay in full. But there's also monthly payments. And to be honest, the majority of people do the monthly payments. We also have a 30-day money back guarantee in the course. So some people will do those monthly payments, and then 1 month in, they can make that decision. Okay, is this working for me? Is this something that I still believe is a right fit for me? And at that point, choose if they want to continue on in the course or not, which most people do. I mean, our refund rate is super, super low. And most people who decide it's not for them, it's literally just like, oh, I got my dream job or like a full-time job or something. So, yeah, there are monthly payments.
Now, so Christy asked, how do you hire subcontractors when you're just starting out?
Great question. So, in the very beginning, when you're just starting out, I actually wouldn't worry about hiring subcontractors. I would fill your plate or mostly fill your plate first. I don't think there's anything wrong with beginning to get in the practice of outsourcing though. So it could be rather than getting
Sorry, could you?
Nope. Sorry, my phone. My watch is like talking to you guys. So it could be that, okay, start out in your business just with you. That would be my recommendation. But go ahead and start rather than having like a full-time subcontractor, somebody that's working with you like all the time. What if you just start outsourcing small things? So like you get a few clients and then you're like, you know what? I want a really nice website. Well, what if you hire somebody just to do your website, right? Something for your business. Or I want a new logo and hire somebody to do that. Okay, I'm doing social media for this client. Maybe like I could do a one-time project where somebody creates like 100 pinnable images and I can use those going forward for my clients, right? And so I think that that is a really good way to kind of ease your way into subcontracting, is to do one-time projects that you start handing off just so you get used to handing things off. Because if you're wanting to grow a business that's a little bit more like an agency, which a lot of our students do, is where like you are the virtual assistant, the clients are giving the work to you, but then you're giving that work to multiple subcontractors, which I mean, guys, sky's the limit with that. I know somebody who has like 64 subcontractors, right? Like, I mean, sky is the limit with that kind of business, and the wealth you can create with subcontractors is huge, but it starts small, right? So start with small baby steps. And I would say one-time projects is where I would start.
Awesome. And so a few people want to know if they're coming in late or they're not able to catch a certain day, how can they sign up for the replays?
Yeah, for sure. So the virtualsavvy.com/jumpstart. So after this live is over, we will send out a replay of this live. And then every single day, we'll send out the link to join us live. We will also send out the replay link if you are on the virtualsavvy.com/jumpstart.
Awesome. And Brienne says, what if I have no experience? What skill should I learn first?
Ooh, so good. So, I'll first tell you this, like, you're not alone if that's the case. Okay. So many of, I mean, pretty much nobody has come in like, I've been a virtual assistant before, right? Like, that's none of us, but a lot of people come in with maybe some admin or some marketing experience. But a lot of people don't. Okay. So just know that you're not alone. And we've had so many successful people that came in. And so one of the things we do is kind of a little bit of a skill audit. And so you're going to want to decide, what are the services that I could do as a VA? And they could start off simple, like data entry, or learning how to do like simple social media scheduling, right? Uh, if you're good at writing, could you write customer service emails? Could you write blog posts, right? And so I think it starts with a really good skills assessment, really looking at yourself. And sometimes we get intimidated because we see people that have these services lists with like 100 different things. If you can do 3 or 4 things really well, great. Let's just advertise those 3 or 4 things, and then you can learn more skills. We have something called the Savvy Vault, and it's a place where people come in to learn more skills. But you don't have to start there, right? You could literally just start with the skills you already have, because I guarantee you, you probably have more skills than you think you do.
Yep, and that's so true. And I even want to speak to, let's say you're a stay-at-home mom. If you're managing calendars and you're managing a household, like that takes a lot of skill. And
Yep.
so I really want to speak to that too, that don't discount that at all. And I know a lot of people that start with that and then just build from there. So just something to think about. And Lily and several other people ask, how do you get over the fear of starting a business? She said that she started a couple businesses before and just really wants this to succeed.
Yeah. So I think there's an element where you, like, when you have that why, but like, I also think there's a little bit of like that, like, I want this to succeed and I need this to succeed, that will keep you going. Because I'm not going to lie, guys, I truly believe that any type of business can be successful if you have the right strategy and you just stick to it. So like, if you do virtual assistants, or if you get into like, I don't know, like flipping houses or an MLM, or like, I think any of them can work, right? You want to be like a like a professional YouTuber. Like, if you have a good strategy, and that's important, right? You can't just pound the pavement with a terrible strategy. So if you have a good strategy and you just freaking stick with it, like, tell yourself, like, hell or high water, I'm going to stick with this for a year. and I'm going to pound the pavement every day for a year and then decide if I want to keep going. Because if you follow a proven strategy and stick with it for an entire year, I guarantee you, this or any other kind of business, you can see some major forward traction.
Absolutely. That consistency is key.
Yep.
And so let's see. Zoe asks, would you say finding a really tiny niche is important?
Great question. So, and we can talk about this a little later in the week. So let me do my little niche spiel, okay? So people say niche, niche, whatever. People say the riches are in the niches, right? Which I think is very true in business in general. But when it comes to freelancing, when it comes to a virtual assistant business, for the majority of us, I actually want us to start broad. Because here's the thing, you can niche down by either service or industry whenever you eventually want to niche down. So service would be like, I only provide Pinterest management, or I only provide, podcast editing. That is niching down by service. You can niche down by industry. I only work with course creators. I only work with those in like the wedding profession. You could also niche down. There's a third way, which is you can niche down by service and industry, right? And so that would be, I only do YouTube editing, or like I only do YouTube management for those in the health and fitness industry, right? Like that's super niche. That's awesome. And you can get super, super specific with your marketing. And it's honestly how I want most of us to end up. However, when you're first getting started, most of us don't know what our niche is. We're not really connected to a certain industry, or we're not really, really talented at one certain skill yet. And so most people, I say, start broad, right? Because what I don't want you to do is say, I'm only going to do podcast editing. And then you start podcast editing and you freaking hate it, right? And then you're like, oh, but I have these clients and I hate this. And so what I love for people to do is start really broad. Don't niche down by service. Don't niche down by industry, and just kind of do a little bit of everything. Get as many people to say yes as you can. Because I promise you, after working with a few clients, you're going to start realizing, oh, I really don't like working with this type of client, or I really don't like doing this service. Okay, then cut it out of your services and kind of narrow down until you find something that you absolutely love. So the only caveat I would say is if you are already super, super skilled in a service, or already super, super connected to an industry. So for example, let's say that at your previous job, all you did was edit podcasts. Like that was your main job. Or let's say that you have been building Squarespace websites for 10 years. Please be a Squarespace web designer. Like you don't need to like do all these other services. If you already have a really amazing high-end service that you have experience in, then you can skip this step, right? Or if you're really connected to an industry already. So let's say that you are actually coming from the real estate background. You used to be a real estate agent, you know tons of agents, you know what real estate agents need and what they would hire you to do VA services for, and you already have all those connections, then by all means, don't like go trying to fish other places when you've got like a fully stocked pool right here. So those would be the caveats. That would be the only time I would say to niche by industry and service, or service right in the beginning, is if it's already padded for you. If not, guys, let's start broad and like test the waters a little bit. Let's see what you like doing. Let's see what services you like. Let's see what people you like working with, and then niche down later.
Yep. So good. You just hit that right on the head, Abby. Now Casey said, or actually, no, we already asked that one. So Sussman asks, do you have a VA savvy residing in Nigeria? So do we have students in Nigeria?
I believe so. Yeah, that we'd have to take a look. I know in the Savvy System group, there are lots. I'm trying to think of or in our VA Savvies, our big group, I'm trying to think of a specific Savvy System student, but hey, if not, come on over. You can be the first one.
Well, and I know that we have plenty of students in Africa,
Yeah.
but all over the world, not just in North America, but just all over the world. And that's one of the things I love so much about our Savvy System community is that it's people all over the world collaborating, and it's really great to see not just our US or Canadian students, but just people all over the world supporting their families as a VA. It's really, really cool.
100%.
And so Monica asks, is it possible to make a full-time income off of part-time hours?
Ooh, so good. So, um, that's actually one of the things that we're going to talk about is we're going to break down pricing. And so one of the very first things we do in our Savvy System course is we do this like rate calculator. And so you plug in how many hours you can work, like how many hours can you actually commit. Some people can do 40, some people can do 20, some people can do 10, right? If you don't have more than 5 or 10, honestly, I would say 10. If you don't have more than 10 hours a week to commit to this business, it's hard. It's a lot harder to get traction. So even if you're working a full time job, I would really, really work, and we can talk about this in the time blocking lesson. I would really work to carve out as close to 10 hours a week to work on your business as you can, because that's just where you're going to see the most traction. But like, let's give that example, right? So if you're able to work 10 hours a week and your rate is $30 an hour, which many of our students start at $30 an hour, right? So that'd be $300 a week. So that'd be $1,200 a month. So that's maybe not full-time income, but that's a really great income working on your own hours, your own time, right? Your own services, and a really flexible work schedule. So $1,200 a month might be really, really great. But that's $30 an hour, right? So what if you were to learn a high-end service? I know, Melanie did Pinterest management,
Mhm.
and most people who end up learning a high-end service, their rate increases more to like $50 or $60 an hour. So if your rate was $60 an hour after you learned a high-end service and you still only have those 10 hours a week, well, now instead of making $1,200 a month, you're making $2,400 a month, right? And then it can go even further. So let's say all I can do is 10 hours. But what if you can get, and you're charging $60 an hour, what if you can get, another 10 hours of work, but subcontractors are doing the work? If you're paying them $30 an hour and you're getting the other half of that, you're getting the other 30, another 10 hours a week, that would increase your income again by $300 a week. So now you're making $3,600 a month. And if you added another 10 hours, so you see how this can grow. That's really why I say the sky is the limit when it comes to virtual assistants, if you're willing to build a team or learn more high-end services or a combination of both. Okay. So hopefully that helps answer your question.
Yeah, so good. And Simone says, is it wise to get a business license, LLC, sole proprietorship before you start accepting clients, or is it okay to wait?
So definitely check the requirements in your state. One of the things that we tell people to do is to go to score.org to see if there are any specific licenses or requirements that you have to have. The majority of us are going to be able to start our business. Most states, a lot of states you don't even, and counties, a lot of it's county specific too, which score.org again can tell you if you need specific like licenses or certificates or whatever in your state. Most of us are able just to start as a sole proprietor. Like, you don't have to have an LLC to start for the majority of us. Okay. And I will say, like, I am not a lawyer. Don't take legal advice from me. We do have a legalities course, a section in the course that is taught by a lawyer. But so basically an LLC protects your personal assets, right? So worst case scenario, if someone ever came and sued you, then they would be suing the business and not you and your personal assets. It protects your personal assets. That's what an LLC does. For any business that has an LLC, that's what an LLC does. Okay. And so, like, when I first started my business, I'm not going to lie, I didn't have any personal assets. I had like a $400 car that I was like praying I would like park it under trees because I knew that it was worth more than I paid for it. So I'd park it under trees and store them, hoping that a tree would hit it and I'd get the insurance money. Like that, that's where I was coming from when I started my business, right? And so Like I didn't have any personal assets and it wasn't a requirement. So I chose to wait to start an LLC, but that was my personal decision and that might not be the right decision for you. Okay. In some states, I know Melanie lives in California. It's super expensive to start an LLC. I live in
Yep.
Missouri. It's really cheap to start one here. So there's so many different factors that you will have to do your own research, but that's another benefit of having a community is you can kind of ask questions along the way as you begin doing your research and deciding what's best for you personally.
Yep. And so Connie wants to know, if you sign up for the Savvy System waitlist, how do you know you're off of the waitlist?
Okay, so essentially the wait list is just a way of us knowing, hey, these people are interested in the course. And so this Friday is when we'll open the door. So everyone that's on the wait list, you'll get an email. Trust me, you won't miss it because we send like 1,000 emails over the next 2 weeks. If you miss one of our emails, I promise you just won't. Okay, so we'll send like a ton of emails and you guys will get it. You'll see it you guys will probably see Facebook ads. You'll see it on Instagram. You'll see it on Facebook when the course is open. And so, yeah, you're on the wait list until you purchase the course. Or if you decide not to purchase, if it's not for you this time, that's totally fine. You could join the wait list next year.
Awesome. And Joel wants to know, how many male VAs do we have?
Oh, actually, we have a decent, I mean, I'm not going to lie, the majority of people who buy our course are female, but we've actually had quite a few guys. We love when guys come into our course. So it is not a female only field or anything. And someone was asking what the name of the site was again, and that's savvysystem.com if you're wanting to get on the wait list.
Okay. Awesome. And speaking to that, I see more and more males joining each time the Savvy System opens.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we get more and more and more, and it's just really fun to see what they're accomplishing in their businesses. So it's very I feel like the male VAs are also really, really growing in the industry. So don't think you just have to be a female.
There's so many good. I was just kind of looking through. We only have a few more minutes here, guys, but somebody asking like, I work at a nonprofit 6 hours a day. Is it possible to do admin work in the afternoon? 100%. That's what's awesome is that you get to choose your own hours. You could be working at 3 a.m. and that's okay, right? So good. Someone's asking about Savvy Vault. Will Savvy Vault help you learn Pinterest management? Yes. So we do have a Pinterest management course. That is awesome. Did you do that course?
I taught we have 3 Pinterest courses inside of the Savvy Vault. We have Pinterest, Tailwind, and Pinterest management that all really work well together.
That's awesome. So I have skills in the lower end of pricing. Is there a list of higher end skills available? Decide which to add to bump my rate. Yeah. So honestly, most of the skills that are in our Savvy Vault. So whenever we launch the course, we have the Savvy System and Savvy Vault, and you can do both together if you want to learn both like the admin skills and the higher end skills. Okay. Oh my goodness, what's an average rate of a bookkeeper? It really depends, Lisa. Like bookkeeping is one of those awesome skills that you could start with a lower rate, but then get higher end clients. So, I mean, we pay just our business pays our bookkeeper, I think $2,000 or $3,000 a month. So it really just depends on like the kind of clients that you're serving. And so that's just for one client, right? And I think they have like 30 plus clients. So they're absolutely killing it.
And I have a question from Brianne too. She says she's fluent in Spanish and wants to know if there's a lot of possibilities for a Spanish speaker.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, 100%. We're actually seeing that more and more, not just translation services, but people whose businesses are primarily in Spanish, that they are, wanting a VA that speaks Spanish. So that's awesome. I know Thais in our group, she's good in Portuguese and Spanish and English, and she really utilizes that a lot. She's one of our VA students.
Yeah. And so Amy wants to know, how do you get past potential clients wanting free work because you're a beginner?
Oh, so good. So we are huge, and no, not working for free. Everybody hear this. This will be a good last question, and we can answer some more questions later in the group. But let me tell you, I would recommend not working for free. And here is why. While I understand that you want to get some work experience, and that is great for you to get some work experience, I want you to know from day one that you and the skills that you offer are valuable. What you have to offer is of value. And so it is worth someone paying you, even if it's something, even if you're helping the place where you get your nails done and they're going to do your nails for free and you're going to do some social media images for them. Do some kind of exchange because your services are worth it. And it's a way from day one to treat yourself with the respect that I deserve to be paid for what I'm doing, because I see way too many people, they get into this and they have somebody that wants to pay them $0 to do work. And I'm not going to lie, they're the worst clients. 9 times out of 10, they are going to be the people that are going to be the most demanding, the most critical, or most whatever. It's a project that should have taken a week, and 2 months later, you're still working on it, and there's no contract in place. You're just doing it for free, and so you feel obligated. And I'm telling you guys, work with a contract. Always, always, always have a contract, and always, always get paid at least something for your work. If you want to discount your services in the beginning, maybe your very first client, it's fine. I don't love it. Make sure it's a one-time project and that's it. But please, please, please don't work for free. Okay.
Yep.
Promise me in the comments. Okay. I think that this has been good. I know we didn't get to every single question, you guys. There are 5 days of training. So bring your questions tomorrow. I'm going to be here. Make sure you're posting your why. Go post it on Instagram. In fact, if you want to hit me up on Instagram and ask questions there, you can ask questions if you have questions, or just show up tomorrow. And that way we can answer more. We're going to do a live Q&A at the end of every single session. So the sessions are only going to be 20, 30 minutes long, but then we'll do these extended Q&A times because, guys, we want to make this happen for you. And I'm so, so excited for what we have going on this week. So that concludes our actual Q&A time. So we're going to do something a little fun right now. I promised you, and we had 450-ish people stay till the end, which is awesome. Yeah. I promised you guys that if you stayed till the very end of this training, we would do something to embarrass ourselves, or I'm going to do something to embarrass myself in our Be Bold challenge. We believe in action over perfection. And my hope and goal is that if you see us being crazy, being bold, embarrassing ourselves a little bit, that you're going to be more challenged to be bold yourself and in your business. Okay. So let's find out what the team did. This is a cute little video they have for us. We love our team. Okay. So today's dare. Oh, it's not even for me. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Okay.
So Melanie's going to beatbox. If you don't know, guys, I'm a really good beatboxer.
She is.
I'm not a good
Well, I have a good teacher.
Okay, so all of you guys at home can do this as well. So what we're going to start with, Melanie, is super simple. The way anyone starts beatboxing, I even taught my son to do it. You can do this. He's 6, so that's saying something. So you're just going to say boots and cats.
Boots and cats.
Yep, boots and cats. And then we're going to say it over and over. So you go boots and cats and boots and cats and just do that.
Boots and cats and boots and cats.
Okay. Then you put some more emphasis behind it, right? So boots and cats and.
Okay.
Boots and cats and boots and cats.
Woo! All right, here we go.
Okay.
Okay. Got it?
Mic drop. Drop the mic.
All right, you guys, this was super fun. Thanks for joining us today. You did great, Melanie.
If I can do it, so can you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. We will see you tomorrow. Make sure that you're signed up, virtualsavvy.com/jumpstart. That way you get a reminder every single day when we go live. Hey guys, it's your turn. Be bold. We believe in action over perfection. We believe in you. We will see you tomorrow for the next challenge. Bye.